Chris Lieto did his first Ironman back in 1998, and 14 years later, he's still going strong. His longevity is a testament to his dedication to training and to recovery. No one knows his body or what it needs like Chris Lieto. At the age of 40, Chris Lieto is still at the top of his game and is still the best cyclist in the sport. He recently moved from Northern California to Kona and feels the move has helped him to better balance his training, racing, recovery, family, and charity. Taking time off from running because of a nagging calf injury, Chris shared some of the core workouts he has now added to his routine. He also shared his thoughts on the importance of recovery. So, Chris, take us through what your after would be. You just finished a race. What do you do from there to recover?
For sure, it's getting in as much fluid as you can. Fluid with ideally calories. So a chocolate milk is ideal because you get in the calories, you get in the fluids, and you're getting in a balance of protein as well, which is essential. You know, in the past, I didn't drink a lot of dairy. And they asked me if I would endorse chocolate milk, and I said, I don't know if I'm the right guy for that. I don't know if I'm the right one because I don't drink it. But I said I'm willing to learn a little bit more about it. You know, I want to get on the phone with some scientists. If this is truly good for me, then it's going to be good for my kids. It's going to be good for my whole family. So let's research and find out what are the true research behind it. And so we hit him with some hard questions, and I was impressed with it. My wife was impressed. We said, okay, let's try it out. And so for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I drank chocolate milk after all of my hard workouts, and I felt like I bounced back a lot better. And I realized during that period of time that I leaned out even more. You know, I don't know if it was from the calorie intake that I was doing, or if it was getting a little bit of the fats from the milk. But as far as the proteins, to make sure that I maintain the lean muscle. And I think it was just training my body to burn more fat and just getting a good bounce back and keep my muscles healthy and recovering. Also, in the last few years, the biggest passion of mine now is more than sport. And so when I'm done with an event, I'm always looking at, before the event, what can I do post-race, and what can I get athletes that are racing as well to get involved in, to give back. Embrace your family, embrace those in need, and have that community of what triathlon was from the beginning and will be forever, but just embrace those in need around us.
You've won 3 Ironman titles. When you look back at your career and everything you've accomplished, were those your greatest races? What races do you look at and go, those were my best days?
2009 World Championships for sure. That was a really good day. It was a very difficult day as well, when you get that close. Yeah, you know, I don't keep a lot of stats and a lot of
I'll ask your son.
Reserve. Yeah, my son knows all the stats. He knows which ones I was most passionate about. But yeah, you know, I always move on to the next race, you know, and move on to what's next, you know, and I really don't hold anything. I appreciate those wins. I feel blessed to be a part of those wins, times I've gotten second or whatever, but I don't hold my life to those. There's more things that are more important than that. That's really the message that I want to leave when I'm done in this sport is a little bit more of balance, enjoying the sport and pushing yourself still at the same time to race as hard as you can to get the most out of you, to push yourself. And you need aspiring athletes to do that, like Craig Alexander has been for me in the last few years as well. So yeah, it's a great sport. I love it. Strength is something you really have to focus on, and you look at every pro athlete that I know of will work on that. And as you age, you got to make sure that you focus on that, and you don't have to put in as many hours on the bike or hours running, you know. So for me, it's hips and glutes and core, and so that's where I have to focus to recruit my core to keep me to run fast and not just recruit my hamstrings and my hips. I find it's extremely important. All right, so we got the warrior pose, which the warrior pose is just to stretch and open up your hips and your glutes and your core. Then we do with the one-legged squat and a two-legged squat just to warm up. The one-legged squat is more to activate your glutes and to fire your glutes instead of just your quads and your hamstrings. You want to make sure you're recruiting the right muscles that you want on a recruit. Then we go into the plank pose. In the plank, you move your hands out a little bit in front of your shoulders, and what that does is it makes you recruit a little bit more of your core. And then as you advance in that plank pose, you can do lift one leg at a time. And as you advance past that, you can lift one leg and opposite arm. And that just fires a little bit more of the little sides of the core, a little bit more of the obliques. You know, we do a side plank, which activates more of the obliques, and then you can add a rotation and a twist to that where the arm goes through you, and that just activates the obliques and core at once. We take a rock and we'll do lunges. As you take one step, you twist to one side. So it just keeps your core, it keeps your balance going. We did one-legged hops, and the one-legged hops is just to activate the small muscles in your foot. For me, I found with my Achilles and my calf stuff, it's really important to get that balance of that foot and that strength of that foot. You don't want to always rely on shoes to support you. You want to have less support in your shoes and maximize the strength in your feet. Then we do like the rock throws, just to, as far as to do some blasts where you're throwing up the rock and activating your core. The rock carry, we go in the ocean and we just carry the rock on the bottom, and what that does is it will stress you on an anaerobic as far as capacity. You know, you grab that rock, you're on the bottom for as long as you can, and your quads will be burning. And what that does is just creates more capillaries in your system and your muscles, so you can carry more oxygen and be more efficient with the oxygen that you have. When you're hammering on the bike or doing a really fast run, you just have more to pull from and more oxygen to grab from.
In our final episode, the man who is always pushing the pace at the front gives us a guided tour to the most famous Ironman course in the world.